Oh, great. Then you don't have to talk tonight, Devin.
Don't listen to her.
You can just bang the gavel or something.
Well, I needed that last, so I'll have my gavel ready.
So it's 5 o'clock. We're waiting for Lisa, should be calling.
She's on the phone.
Is she on the phone? So we have
Jerry.
Lisa, we have Devin. We're not going to have Jerry probably for a few minutes.
Okay.
Right? So, okay, let's do this. Hi, everybody. This is January 27th, 2026 at 17:01. And this is the January meeting for the Black Canyon City Water Improvement District. Meeting notices were posted on the website, on the door of the new office, and at the post office.
Excuse me. She's trying to get the voice to the recording device, and if you guys are speaking over, it's going to be hard for us to hear it in the recording.
Oh.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. We're going to, the board will introduce themselves. Those that are calling in telephonically will be next, and then we'll do our public. So I'm Elaine, I'm the board chair.
Irene Brooks, the vice chair.
Board Secretary, Tom Strezak.
Melina Raylick, treasurer.
Sean Collins, member at large.
And on the phone we have Devin White, counsel for the district. And then we also have Lisa.
Yes, this is Lisa Waldschmidt, Rural Water Association of Arizona.
Okay, and we have,
Corey Connor, resident.
hi.
Julie Connor, resident.
Susan Battenberg, resident.
Marianne Woods, concerned citizen.
Okay,
Joe Brokaw, citizen.
okay, great.
Jerry.
You got Jerry on the phone as well.
Oh, so Jerry, go ahead.
Yeah, Jerry Postma, general manager.
Wow, we're gonna have a phone poll here. So I want to make sure that I have all of the. We're at consent agenda, approval of minutes, and we can approve all of those minutes with one vote. But we have you sent all of those minutes, right?
Yes.
Okay. Did everybody have a chance to review the minutes?
Yes.
Anybody have any discussion or comments, concerns?
Well, I reviewed them, but I haven't checked them for accuracy yet. I mean, I just got them yesterday, so.
Well, there are a lot of reasons for things being sent a little bit late. A lot of valid reasons. So, did you have a chance to look at them? And you did, I did. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to vote on approving the November 25th regular meeting, the November 25th executive session meeting, the December 17th special meeting budget adoption, and the January 21st special meeting. I'd like to entertain a vote on approving the minutes just noted. I need a second. What? What?
A motion.
I motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second it.
Okay, sorry,
Before-
Sean shook his head, and I'm surprised you couldn't hear it, but he did.
Take it easy.
All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye. No. Yeah. What did I say?
Are you opposed?
Yeah.
Okay, so 4 approved,
You
1
said aye.
opposed,
I did.
and
She asked if
the
it
motion
said
passes.
no, and I say no.
Oh,
See,
Because I
next,
haven't checked them yet.
can we discuss that? Okay. If there is anything that Devin, we can go back and ratify something if there is something that is incorrect that just blatantly needs to be corrected. Can we not?
Yeah, if the minutes, upon further review, there's an issue, you can approve amended minutes at a subsequent meeting, no problem.
Yeah, so it can't be amended. I feel like I just want to reach out and give you like hot tea or something and not keep you on the phone. Chair activities for the last month. Update on move to the new office. Well, I have to say, we are so excited to be in the new office. And we've had a lot of people coming in, customers coming in, that just love it. They think it's great. It's cheerful. It's brighter. It's bigger. It just feels professional. And I have to give a shout out to Scott Brooks, Irene's husband, because without him and her, we saved the district over $1,200 because we moved the office ourselves. Lisa and Irene and I spent a lot of time going through files, so the boxes in the storeroom are now relatively well identified. Irene's husband Scott, he moved all of it, and he put on a beautiful, what is the wood? Butcher block countertop for the sink that we had installed. We bought all of this used furniture with the exception of the reception desk, which was our big spend. Scott and Irene went to a sale where they were selling a lot of filing cabinets that were in great shape, and he polished them up with spray painting them. So the move was actually seamless, with the exception of CenturyLink. We didn't have we didn't have phone for a week, although we had called and asked for the service to be transferred a month ahead of time, and that's CenturyLink. So
I don't want to leave Sean out. He did help move the furniture.
he did help move the furniture.
That's right.
Furniture mover, huh?
But and he visited a lot in between moves of the furniture. But we appreciated him
Yes.
being there and
Thank you
all of the fun that he brought with him. He's the man. So it was really a great move, and we're anxious for people to see it. And update on the security system. It is amazing. I can honestly talk about the security system in the old office, which we didn't have one, because the security system was not in the district's name. We couldn't do anything with it. But now we have an amazing security system. If I hung up on Devin, I could show you exactly what's going on inside the office, behind the office, in the hall, everywhere. If we happen to forget to arm the alarm when we leave the office, it will arm automatically. We have keyless entry, so we only use one door in the front and one door in the back to enter. Those are all keyless entry. So it's really great. Operations report, that would be Jerry. B.
Yes, good evening, everybody. Thank you, Madam Chair. Just want to go over the highlights, if you will. We did get the arsenic media changed out. We did abandon the project for the Big John number 3 well. That's been abandoned because, of course, we couldn't get any water. We had the change in operations occur on December 1st. And December 1st, as a welcoming to the new team that came on board from the old team that left, we had a water main break on Mud Springs. We had 4 hydromatic tank failures. We had 2 booster pump failures. So when the team started at 7 a.m. On December 1st, they finally finished up on December 2nd at 5 p.m. and did take care of most of those issues. We did have some other things that we had to come back and take care of. And just one thing that I want to kind of highlight is that for the distribution system, there's altitude valves at each of the tanks. None of the altitude valves are working. And what altitude valves do is they make sure that there's pressure throughout the system. They signal for the wells to turn on to fill tanks, and for the wells to shut off when the tanks are full. So basically, we have altitude valves which, in the past, would allow the water to fill up based on pressure inside the tank to whatever the predetermined level is. And then once it would drop down, typically it's about a 7-foot difference, and then it calculates the pressure, and then it would turn the wells back on all automatically. Those have not been working for quite some time, and we are getting quotes on rebuilding, repairing, or replacing those, because once we have those back online, basically the system will run automatically. Right now, there has to be some manual operation of the wells and of some of the valves, so that we don't overfill the tanks and we don't keep the wells running. We did, of course, have some challenges when we read meters for the first time. That was December 15th. And there were some challenges with meter reads, and there was also challenges with finding some of these meters, where they were, what the location was, and in some cases they were covered, the actual meters inside the meter box were covered with up to 2 foot of dirt. So each one of them was physically viewed by staff, and they actually got reads on everything, and I believe there were about 20 locations that we had difficulty finding where the exact meter pits were, and they went back and they did locate them and they did get the reads. So every meter in the system has now been read, and kind of a backup challenge for that is the fact that between the whatever happened with the billing system and whatever happened with the distribution system, there are some erroneous reads, which created some angst and some exceedingly weird numbers that popped up during our billing in December. And that's been worked on by several people. Mostly it's been Julie and Elaine and Irene with Enhance trying to get through those billing quirks. Field staff have been going out, rereading meters, just making sure that everything that we have is correct, because we want to make sure that residents do get correct bills and not get overbilled or underbilled, and make sure that everything is correct. So it's taken a little bit longer than anticipated, but the bills will be coming out. There won't be any fees charged to the residents, because it's the district's opportunity to clean everything up. So because we are the ones taking the time to clean it up, we're not going to pass any penalties on to anybody. And once we get the reads done in January, then we'll do the scrubbing of the data again and make sure everything is correct, and then take a look at the February reads, and by then we're about 100% sure, 99.9%, that everything will have been corrected 100% and we'll be back in a good place.
Jerry, can I just real quickly explain so that it gives them, our owner users, an idea as to what information we're using?
Please.
So, we have contracted for short-term support with Sharon Ibbotson, and she's the manager administrator of Arizona Utility Billing Solutions in Prescott, and all they do is utility billing. They are not going to read our meters or enter any data. What they did was we sent them the last 90 days of our read sheets. That's the sheets that the guys go out and they put what they read from the meter, and billing. So they took 90 days worth of data and entered it into an Excel spreadsheet, and we just got, I can't believe what a great job they did. We started sending them the data on Friday, and we had this by Monday. Friday, we met with Jerry, with Lisa, who's on the other phone, and Lisa is the EPA training specialist with the Arizona Rural Water. We met with Dean, I can't remember his last name, I can't write it down, but he's the director of the National Rural Water. And then we met with Cheryl Ibbotson. So we had these great minds, professionals, as we're looking at how we can best identify what the bills should be, and this is what happened. So they went through all of it, and then they had their recommendations at the end as they analyzed 90 days worth of bills, and they were able to look at what we need to do to bring our reads and hence the billing back in order. I don't think there were any account numbers on there. So, what was that? So on some, their recommendation was to calculate a refund to the customer and do a change out to start a correct read. There's reread if read is accurate, average, and correct the read. And there were some where there was one digit was missing from the front on a couple. And so they made a number of recommendations based on the summary of analyzing all that data. Okay? Okay, Jerry. So what will happen is we'll go back in based on this information, and Jerry, how will we approach entering the reads again? We had enhances our billing app, and they removed all of the data that we had entered from December so that we could start all over again. And all of this has been shared with the attorney, with our accountant, and those that I mentioned at the meeting.
So I brought my payment in, but I noticed you haven't cashed the check yet. So what happens with the check that I gave you for my bill?
We will process it. The first 3 rules of best practices when something like this happens, when you have this many bills that are irregular, is you stop payments. You don't send out any bills. You don't take any money. You freeze everything until you can research the issues and identify what changes need to be made.
I was just concerned because like I deducted it from my money, you know what I mean? So or you're eventually going to cash it? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We
I didn't know if it was just going to be double billed for me because I already dropped it off or what. Okay.
No, we have anybody who brought in a check or mailed in a check.
Just
We have those locked away,
okay.
ready to process when we get everything in the system.
Okay.
Jerry, would you like to go ahead and?
Yes, absolutely. So thanks for that explanation. What's going to happen next is that the readings that took place in December, and once they've been verified, will be put into the billing system, and that will be where we start before our next read cycle, which should be here shortly. Then when we go out and read, we know that we have a very accurate read that happened, and this read will go up against it, and then we'll have the same thing. Not the same thing will happen as far as that we will have a true read from January, which then will also be used in our reading in February. So basically, we will have a 3-month true up of those numbers so that everything is accurate and moving forward, we know it's going to be good numbers. We do have to talk to the board about how we want to go about the delayed billing for January. And I don't know if we want to talk about that now, Madam Chair, or bring that up later.
We have someone who has a question. Go ahead.
Just a quick clarification. The last 90 days, the only actual meter read was the one that you did in December, correct?
No.
There were reads
The meters
prior?
were read all 3 months.
Okay.
But we're looking at all 3 of those months. Jerry, would you
average.
like to explain why?
Yeah, absolutely. What we're trying to do is figure out how many were estimated, how many were actually not read because they couldn't be found, or maybe it was on property, or a car was parked on top of it. So some were estimated, some were not, and we just need to make sure that for those 3 months, everything was accurate. And then because we have the actual reads in December that we know we did, we're proving those up against the last 2 months. So it's October, November, December. And then looking at the average usage for those months for people, which will help us get a good background data for moving forward. So basically, we're trying to find out what happened to mess up the reads so that we don't ever have that happen again.
I know, Jerry, that we've had, and former meeting minutes stated, and we've had a lot of customers complain, feeling that their meters historically were not read. We're not going to say that that is absolutely the reason why, but it could be a contributing factor. Would that be correct, Jerry?
Yeah, so there's, again, like I said, the potential was that the previous entity that was working did not go into property if they couldn't find the meter, just like we couldn't find meters. It could be that there was a fence with a dog, so they didn't go in there. Could be that we don't know, but they may have just decided to estimate or not read it if they couldn't find the meter, again, like we had the 20. So between all that, that's why we're trying to true everything up, make sure we know what we're doing, where the meters are, make sure the meters are correct with the house, make sure it's correct in the billing system. So basically, it was like playing Matlock, trying to figure out what the problem was and how to fix it. So those of you who are older like myself, you remember the show Matlock on TV? That's what we're doing.
We just reached the point when we realized we could not correct what was going on and in good conscience send out bills and feel that they were accurate. So we just decided this is it. We need to stop, step back, take a closer look, and look for root causes and correct it from there. Another question, comment, Jerry?
Yes, several years back they put in the wireless, the remote telemetry or transponders, if you will, to read the meters. Are those operable? Is there an issue with them? Our meters on Mud Springs Road are all out at the road, and that's why I'm just curious. Is there an issue with those? Do they need to be replaced? Is this an expense we might be looking at in the future?
The answer to your question is yes, there are problems with those. What happens is those systems have a lithium battery in them, and that's what operates the touchpad on top and also sends the signal from the meter to what we call the endpoint, where when you touch it, you can read it. It also shows the dial on the top of the meter, what the meter is, what the meter read is. And when those batteries die, we lose all that information. When the battery is changed out, we cover that information. What we found when we did the meter reads in December is that several of those meters that are actually the census meters had been in the ground so long they had surpassed the warranty and the life expectancy on the lithium battery, and those were dead. So a lot of those we couldn't read them.
Okay, so
yes, we will have to change out a lot of meters.
Thank you. That clarified
Yes.
very well. Thanks, Jerry.
Okay, it looks like we can continue on, Jerry.
Yeah, so thank you. And the next steps are going to be that, as we were talking about, the meters that we know are absolutely dead, as soon as we go out and start reading again, we're going to go in and we're going to change each of those meters out. We have about 200 meters in stock that we just ordered at the first of the year. And so those are going to be our priorities, to take all those dead meters, change them out, have the new accurate meters in. And we encourage anybody that is going to get a new meter. And we'll put little hangers at your door or at your front gate that basically shows you and tells you how to go ahead and access that meter with an app that you can have on your phone, your computer, your tablet. So we encourage you to go ahead and sign up for that. It's all free, and then you get to look at your meter. And the best part of it is we've had a couple customers that have it, and and they noticed that their water bill was getting a little bit higher each month. And so when we talked with them, we could look at the data and show that they had a leak because their water always flowed between a half a gallon per minute and 4 gallons per minute 24/7. And over time, it was getting worse. So the nice thing is, if you feel that, okay, there's a problem or a challenge, you can look at the app and determine, oh, okay, we had a situation where maybe a toilet was leaking, or some other abnormally interesting thing that happened, like, oh, I just filled the pool, or, oh, my irrigation system is running 2 times a day when it should only run once. Right. And those are things that you can kind of take a look at yourself. We intend in the future, as those things happen, that we'll get alarms. You can set it so it will give you alarms, but we also want us to be able to get alarms so we can go ahead and be proactive and call people and say, hey, you may want to check your house. We notice that your water has been running for 2 consecutive weeks and something must be wrong. So we're trying to be proactive instead of reactive, so that people don't have a problem with a high bill. And so that's the reason we want to get these new meters installed and get those old dead ones out of the system.
Okay, we can.
So on top of that, the system repairs, are there any other questions on the meters?
No.
Okay. So the other challenges we had with the system were that there are 7 hydromatic tanks. Those hydromatic tanks keep the pressure in the system, but you have to have an air compressor to keep the balance of water and air in the tank. Otherwise, it gets waterlogged or it gets airlogged, and it does not keep the pressure or maintain the pressure. And then you start getting, if it's airlogged, you get airlocked. I mean, you start getting air into the system. So what had been happening previously is that there were no compressors. So the previous operators had their own compressor. They would bring around to each of the sites and put air in or bleed air off as it needed it. So that kind of was one of the challenges when we had the December 1st, December 2nd issues. A lot of the hydromatic tanks were not at the proper setting. They were airlogged or waterlogged. And so that created some pressure issues in the system and even some air in the system because those hydromatic tanks, the air bled through into the distribution system. We did have 4 leaks in December and another 4 or 5, so far in January. They've all been fixed, and we're looking at taking care of some service lines that need to be replaced, either because they're tapped into the wrong system or because they just are not correctly, they're not tapped onto the correct main. So we have 2 water mains. One is typically from the well to the tank, and those have very low pressure. And then we have the main distribution system, which is after the tanks and after the booster stations, and that has the appropriate pressure for the entire system. So those that we have found, we're in the process of tapping those over. And we have one that's up on Wyatt, and I'm not sure if Julie and her family are there, but
Yes,
that
we
one's
are.
scheduled to be done on Friday this week. So that's the first one that we want to get taken care of. We have had some issues as far as the arsenic system. Everything on the arsenic system was changed from automatic to a manual operation. What was happening is that everything was being run through the arsenic media, which means that the media expires much more quickly because it's used up. What we like to do is what we call a blend, where you bypass some of the water around the arsenic treatment, and then run some through it. That as the media lasts longer, you still meet the requirements. You're still below the maximum contaminant level, So it saves a lot of money. It's much more efficient, and the media lasts a lot longer, like 2 or 3 times as long as running 100% through the media. And I think those are probably the highlights that we have for this month.
I believe we had stated that we would post the well depths this at this meeting, or
Like Davis.
Yes, and I apologize, that did not get done. So that is being done probably this week. And we'll have those posted. I'll send them out and we can get them posted on our webpage as soon as possible.
and we did a pretty thorough job of the meter billing remediation plan, but Lisa's on the phone. And Lisa, I think it's important for you to identify the role you're going to play and how you're going to be out in the field this time working with the crew well, you can explain that.
Okay, so my primary function with the next set of meter reads and possibly the one into February also will be to go with the operating team and just do some on-site training with them, make sure that the meter reads are accurate, that they understand what they're looking at. I think that they do. This is just a step to make sure, because they're fairly new to water distribution system operation. The other thing that I will be doing is I will be assisting with verification of any reads that look inaccurate or strange in any way. I'll be helping with that. And I can also help with location of missing meters if we still have any that we haven't found.
Okay, so we're going to have a lot of professionals without any personal connection to the district, so it's going to be unbiased, if you will, and checked by other people.
So from after they're done, from there on out, who's going to be reading the meters? Who reads the meters?
Jerry? She asked who will be reading the meters here on out. It will be Jerry?
Yeah, I apologize. I muted myself. Yes, we have an operations contract with Arizona Utilities Operation, and they're the ones that will be reading the meters. So they read them in December. That was the first time reading, and then this will be the second time once these reads have been put back into the system.
But we are focusing on making sure everybody is trained, and so we're bringing in Lisa with Arizona Rural Water, and she's been doing this for a long time. So we want to make sure that everyone knows how it's going to work. Jerry has a rough draft of an operations of a meter read procedures that we are going to just make it specific to our district, so that there is a written plan in place as to how meters are supposed to be read. Do you want to explain some more of the content, the purpose of that, Jerry?
Yeah, what happens is there's a best practices on what you do when you go out and read meters. So over the years with the municipalities I've worked for and then doing work on my own, I put together what I use as basically it's got all the bullet points and everything that we like to have documented for training. And then the operators go out and they read the meters and they follow those guidelines. The only thing we have to do on this policy to adapt it over to Black Canyon City is some of the things that I used were from other municipalities, and we have to make it specific to Black Canyon rules. So we have policies and an ordinance in Black Canyon City on how we do estimated reads and that kind of stuff. So those things, and then there's different fees for different things that happen. So again, those change with every community or every water system. So we can go ahead and sit down and make those changes so everything jives with what we have in Black Canyon City. And then we have our own Black Canyon City policy. So we're looking forward to having that done in the next week or two, with Lisa's help and the office help as well.
And these are improvements, because these things were not in place before. And now we can directly go look at this process and procedure and see exactly how it's supposed to be done, and there are no, it's clear. So people aren't just making up the rules as they go. Jerry, I'm sorry you couldn't be here in person, but I was hoping that you could give us an update on RCAC. We need to look at rates and where we are with that. Do you know when to expect them to have the report ready so we can move forward with the rate assessment?
Yeah, that's a really good question, Madam Chair. The challenge is they had used numbers from the previous meter reads and from the previous what they referred to as the well reads. So after we found all these challenges, like we don't have meters on our wells, so we don't know what they produce. We had all these zero read meters. So what we're doing is we're taking a step back, scrubbing the data, and then hopefully in the next couple of reads we'll have a better idea of what the actual usage is, because they base everything for the rate increase on what you pump and then how much you use in the system. And then whatever, if there is any water loss due to whether it's leaks or whatever, then there's things you have to do as far as putting together programs to do meter replacement, meter installs, etc. So those are all the things that, because of this recent kind of challenge that we've gone through, it's now impacted our rate study, and it's going to be moved by about 2-3 months.
And then, what about ADEQ's comments on the PER? We've been, I know we had $50,000 in that WIPA well fund for a PER, and we decided to wait and not use it, and ADEQ had said that they had some money. Where are we with all of that?
Yes, so ADEQ has what's called the Technical Assistance Program. They shorten it up and call it TA. But basically their Technical Assistance Program will pay for small systems like ours to have a professional engineer come in. And the professional engineer is not by our choosing, it's by ADEQ, because they have several engineers that are on contract, and they'll choose somebody who's near or close to our area. They'll come in, they'll sit down with the board, they'll sit down with staff, and they'll start going through and taking a look at what we have in the system. And out of that will come a professional engineer's report. It usually takes about 6 months to do that because it's got to be very specific. Once the professional engineer's report is complete, then we can go ahead and use that for any grants or loans that we want to get from USDA. Typically is the big one, but USDA with not rural water, but rural development. So, and even sometimes the community development block grant through the county. So that is being overseen by Linda Town. I've talked to her a couple times, and they are looking into when they could get somebody scheduled to come out and do our system. And they will pay for it. The only thing I'm concerned about is it almost sounded like we had to pay for the engineer up front and we'd get reimbursed. And I'd rather that they paid for everything up front so it's not coming out of our pocket.
Do we expect them to move forward with that in the near future? Would we be better off? We've been talking about this for quite some time.
It's really a good thing to have done. Most places actually require a PER before they'll even consider doing a grant, because they want to make sure that a professional engineer has reviewed your system and prioritized what the issues are and what the fixes are and what the cost estimates are, instead of going in blindly. I think that through the TA program, that's exactly what it's designed for, and it would be good for them to come in and go ahead and do a PER through one of their engineers.
And that's great. I'm just wondering, is there any indication a start date might be approaching soon?
I can continue to ask, but basically they line things up based on priorities. And right now, priorities happen to be systems that have like challenges with their treatment, or things that are creating problems for the system by not having safe water to drink. So that's their priority, to get those done first, and then go to the PERs and other things kind of second. But I'll see if I can nail them down and get a specific date for that.
We would appreciate that, because we've been talking with them before you even came on board, and it's like we see a carrot out there, but it seems to keep getting further away. So I think we would appreciate hearing from them. If not, there was $50,000 in the WIFA well loan. Could we still use that if they're unable to begin the PER soon?
Yeah, we could definitely take a look at that. It would just mean that we would have to go out and get bids on engineers, and that whole process itself would take some time to do it. That's why going through ADEQ, where they already have people, is much easier. But yeah, that's an option we can look at too.
Okay, I just think we need to plan for 2026. And we're already at the end of January, which I know people think, well, we just started 2026, but it's still the end of January. And in order to plan effectively for 2026, we need to know where we stand with these matters so that we can look at how we can best move forward. And Tom had a question.
Yes, to my understanding, Linda Taunt with ADEQ said that it has been approved. So I wouldn't see us, going elsewhere or spending money if it's already been approved for this work to be done.
I can't comment on that. Can you comment on that, Jerry?
No, I had direct communication with her. When did you find this out, Tom?
This was, Melina and I attended a virtual meeting. I think it was October. And there was an update, I believe, from RCAC, and it basically, to my understanding, and I don't have my notes with me, but it's been approved. The money's there for us, is my understanding.
Okay, I'll definitely follow up on it, but I have been in contact with Linda as recently as January, so I'll just keep following up, and we'll try to get things stirred up.
Right on.
And then you and I had talked about there's an NRWA loan for $200,000, no interest for 90 days. You said you had a contact here you were going to speak with to see if we could get that to do a district-wide, or really get close to doing a district-wide meter replacement. Did you have any luck contacting them?
Yes, I got a hold of the director, and he referred me to I believe she is the supervisor of that specific loan program, and she has not gotten back to me. So I'll just reach out to him again tomorrow and find out what the status is and what we can do to get the loan application and what the requirements are.
I just think it's a great opportunity at $200,000. We could make, even if it's not, $200,000 exactly, I think we could make a good dent in replacing all of these old meters, because the district is losing a lot of money having meters that don't work or only work part of the time, that aren't accurate. On top of not even knowing how much water we're producing from the wells. We really need to get our revenue source, we need to get a better understanding of our revenue source and how much we're making and how much we're losing, and we need to make those corrections.
Yes, absolutely, because your meters are the cash register for the system. And when you don't have efficient ones, or the ones like in our system are 15 to 20 years old, they're supposed to be changed out. The old status was they need to be changed out every 10 years. The more recent status, because of meter technology increases, is that they recommend that you change them out every 2 million gallons. So that's still somewhere between 8 and 12 years. So 10 years is a really good average. Obviously, we're 5 to 10 years over that. So I agree 100%. That needs to be one of our priorities.
Okay. Anything else, Jerry, on the operations report or general manager's report? Oh, did we do the general manager's report and the operations report all in one?
Yes.
I did. Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, the one thing that I did want to talk about was at the very beginning of the report, I talked about the WIFL grant that we got for the well.
Correct.
And doing a reallocation. So the reallocation that I'm requesting is that we get the rest of the funds to pay for those large meters at the wells. And once that has been put in, we'll see how much funds are left in our grant, and then we'll see what they say as far as the program and the project. Because the other opportunity would be with the pumps and motors, because that was part of it with the well, but it included the pump and motor. And going with VFDs, variable frequency drives, because that saves electricity. So those are some things that we're looking at. Altitude valves would also be a good one. But definitely the meters on the wells is priority number one.
Yeah, we need to understand. We're a water district. We don't know how much we're producing, and we're not sure how much we're selling, which does not bode well. Okay, are you good on the operations and general manager's report, Jerry?
Absolutely.
Okay, so now we're going to the financial report, and Melina's going to review that. And just so everyone knows, the bookkeeper's report is posted on the website, so you can go and look at the entire report that's provided by our CPA.
Alright, well, when I printed this, my printer cut off the pennies, so I don't have any penny numbers for you.
Well, aren't they getting rid of pennies anyhow?
Yeah.
That's fine.
I gave my nickel the other day, they gave it right back to me. Anyways, from the arsenic sinking account, the balance, November 1st, the balance was $131,332, and then we took in some interest and we paid out $61,285 for the arsenic media, which left us with a balance of $70,907. The BMO checking account started with a balance in November of $73,310. We took in some money, but and we put out some money. I don't have any color ink on my printer, so these numbers for total receipts, they didn't print, so I'm sorry, I don't have them for you. But we ended up with $55,173 left at the end of 12/31. Oops, sorry. These must be 2 months together. The capital reserve account started out with $80,910. No disbursements, and our balance, because we had some interest put in there, our balance is now $81,391. The general account, where we write all our checks from, started out with $91,161 and ended up with $32,862. And then the security deposit account had no change for $52,990. So that's it.
Thank you, Melina.
You're
And
welcome.
again, you can go to the website at any time and look at the entire report to see every penny that was spent and on what.
And I highly recommend you do that.
So next we have new business, and first item is discussion and possible action regarding Kyle and Julie Connor's water line.
It's Corey.
It's what?
Corey.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry,
I think he
Corey.
answered the question. You made it sound like
He said-
this Friday?
This Friday?
With a K?
Yes, Corey would.
Okay.
Yeah, KORY.
Yeah, it says
Sorry.
Kyle on here.
I did that.
It's okay.
K-O-R-I.
Why?
So
Okay,
they're
or
coming
why?
this Friday?
Yeah,
Jerry?
he said Friday.
Yeah, I talked with the contractor. He's got all of the equipment, so his plates and everything are here in our yard, and they're ready for the work. They've done the locating dig, so they know where all the lines are, and they're going to move their equipment in on Friday. They do have a contract, or excuse me, a leak in a community not too far away, so their goal is to take care of that on Thursday, fix that leak, and then be over Friday. But it may take them 2 days to do all the work, so it'll probably either be Friday and Saturday or Friday and Monday.
Our apologies for it taking longer than expected, but wrong place, wrong time. It just, it was a crazy few months, but we will get it fixed and move forward from there. So you guys are all okay?
Yes, appreciate it.
Okay. Thanks for coming. Thanks for letting us know. I'm sorry, Jerry.
And I just want to say thank you so much for your patience, because I know we talked about this, boy, I think it was back in September, maybe even earlier, and we had the contractor in October.
Yeah.
So I apologize for all the missteps along the way, and we're going to get better at this. So
Well, we're
thank
just-
you for hanging
We're just
in
gonna
there
be
with
happy
us.
when it's done.
We're going to be happy when it's done as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you. So next is B, and I hate to disturb you, Devin, but you might want to listen to this one. This is
I'm here.
discussion and possible action regarding the annual officer selection and board reorganization. And I've not done this before, so I'm going to look to you for direction.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, did you want to go over the roles and responsibilities first, or did you want to do the selection first?
Irene, I don't see the purpose of anything changing right now. Perhaps we can have some discussion on that. We have work to do on the roles and responsibilities still. We can move to that one first, though. Huh?
I think we were gonna start our conversation on roles and responsibilities because
Correct.
it's really part of our new policies and procedures and bylaws and everything. So I don't think we were expecting to finalize them today, the roles
No,
and responsibilities. But we are required annually to select our board officers, or at least, Devin, correct me if I'm wrong, at least we have to look at the board chair and secretary positions, is that correct?
You got it, Irene. That's exactly right.
So, you know, that you guys did this last year, I guess it was
No, we
just the
didn't.
three of you?
No, no,
Yeah.
we didn't do it last year because this is our first year doing it.
Oh, okay.
That's
Okay.
why we're not experienced and why I was asking for Devin's help. But I'm going to just start out with, we've been in these positions for about a year. You joined late, Sean joined late, and I think at this point, changing positions would not be wise. There's too much going on. There's no way to bring someone else in as board chair and get them up to speed. I think it would just not be a healthy thing for the district or the board to make any significant changes right now.
While Devon is with us, could he just explain how this works a little bit?
Devin?
Yeah, I think that was a question from Tom on how this works. Again, I think you're starting exactly how it starts. It's a discussion. You guys go over, if you think things should change, if they should stay the same. Upon conclusion of discussion, the board chair would entertain a motion. Based on what I'm hearing, it would be a motion to sort of keep everybody in their existing roles, their officer roles. There'd then be a vote. So that there's no real trick or special thing to it. It's a discussion among you guys about what you think is best, followed by a vote.
Tom?
And so I'm just wondering if there was to be a change, do the two people that are going to basically be trading positions, do they have to be in agreement, or does it come to, the board decides they feel a certain way about, how things should proceed, or is there a vote?
In terms of if are you saying if somebody is appointed and doesn't want to fill that role, is that what you're saying?
Well, that might be a case too. There's a lot of different scenarios that could occur, no?
Yeah, no, certainly. I think, in our experience, we don't see too many issues come up, but I will say, I think someone could have refused their appointment, even if they are voted. I think that puts the district in kind of a tough spot. Again, even if you refuse the appointment, the tasks that are, that role fills still need to get done, even if nobody is serving in the actual officer role.
Mm-hmm.
For example, taking minutes, you still have to take minutes even if there's no secretary. And so, on the other side, if, I guess you're saying, if you disagree with the majority vote, but you are outvoted, then it would proceed, according to the majority vote.
Right, okay, thanks. Yeah, just, if I understand then, so if say I said I would like to serve as the treasurer, how would that proceed?
I think it would start exactly with what you just said. I think you would, that would be your input, and if you wanted to, explain that or dive into that further, then again, there'd be an opportunity for the rest of the board to discuss and give their feedback. And again, if the board would like to change or swap roles, it sounds like secretary and treasurer swap, that you would do that again by board motion and vote.
Right, and I mean, so if you were in a situation where the treasurer doesn't want to, trade roles or positions, then you just kind of vote. Does it come to a vote, or if it even gets to a motion? I guess if it even.
Well, I guess so. If somebody was serving as treasurer, but somebody else wanted to serve as treasurer, someone different, again, I think there would be a discussion followed by a vote, and then the first vote would be keep the officer in their role. If it passes, obviously it passes. If it fails, move to the second vote, which presumably would pass, and that would be that person number 2,
Right.
in this example, is appointed.
So let's go around. Should we go around and see just get thoughts from each board member to see where they stand, what they want?
free to serve them. Yep.
Irene, thoughts?
So I would like to stay in my position. I've only been in the position since the middle of September. I've certainly learned a lot in that period of time. I don't feel qualified to, certainly don't feel qualified to take over as the chair. It's what I have recognized working so closely with Elaine over these last couple months and these issues that we've had is that there's like a big picture look at everything, which includes, I mean, beyond just Black Canyon City. It's involving rural water. It's involving RCAC and the grants that are available and all that. And I do not have that knowledge and experience at this point in the game. I would anticipate by the end of this next year that I would have a lot more information with regard to that. So I certainly don't feel qualified to take that position. Obviously, I've been serving somewhat as secretary with the minutes and then to a degree somewhat, some of the treasurer positions. But I am certainly open to whatever you all think is, going to serve the community best. But personally, I would like to stay in my position, and I feel like I've learned enough over the last 2 months that I could share, with whoever's in the treasurer's position, some of the things that I've learned that go on in the office that could be looked at from the treasurer's standpoint. And we've talked about some of the records that we need to keep and making sure we know what we're doing as far as records retention. And, I certainly in the vice chair's position am willing to do that. But I don't know where the two of you stand. I know there's been some, concern about whether this is the role that you want or whatever. But for me, I would like to stay in this position if
I would
could
like
be
to see
voted
you stay in that position. You've been in September. There is so much going on. We have spent countless hours working in the office together, learning how everything works, especially when Julie was out and there was no one but you and I to work in the office and get a handle on what was going on. And because of that, we found a lot of gaps in processes and procedures. We've been able to look at improvements that needed to be made. And to change that right now would be foolish.
I would agree.
And trust me, next year, I'd much rather, I just finished a master's in nursing, and I'm hoping that within the next year I might be able to practice medicine instead of doing this for free. But I think changing too much right now would be a mistake because we have so much going on. We're solid in our knowledge of what's going on. And we need to stay on that path.
We're all pretty good where we are?
I think we're pretty good where we
Are
are.
you guys
Yeah.
good, Tom?
Yep.
Melina, are you good?
I certainly don't want to try to learn a whole new position. I've just barely learned this one. So
And
I
taught
don't want
me.
to waste all my knowledge.
And you taught me your position too. And
I think it's gonna be a lot easier since we're in the new spot. I think a lot of the stresses kind of came down, and people are starting to be able to focus on their positions more than moving a facility. So give it some time. I mean, I've been doing it 7 months, so I like where I'm at and like working with all of you. So let's try to stick it out and get some continuity. So when people do want to switch out with somebody, it's a lot easier. When we cut the last board, it's really tough. There was no continuity. We all kind of got thrown into it, and we just gotta give it some time and be patient and work with everybody in Black Canyon City and try to make it a better product.
I think part of the great thing is, while it's tragic to some degree to have all of these issues going on and to have Julie break her arm and was that getting thrown into this and just it seemed like having everything come down all at once, that we have learned so much and we know what's working and what's not just from what we hear but from doing.
Alright, is the board full now?
Yes.
Well, I know before you were looking for people, so I was just wondering if it was full.
So if everybody's good, I'd like to entertain a motion that the board positions remain the same for this year and that we move forward and just get better in each of our roles.
I would second the
And for
motion.
the motion, Elaine, could you specify each role? So Elaine as chairman, Irene as vice president, etc.
Okay, so I'd like to entertain a motion that Elaine Clayton stays in the position as board chair, Irene Brooks as board vice chair, Tom Strezak as secretary, Melina Rayleck as treasurer, and Sean Collins as member at large.
I second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Passes unanimously. Thank you, everyone. We did the operations report, general manager's report, meter reading and billing remediation plan, and that was under new business, and so we can have discussions about those topics. So now we're at F. Discussion and possible action regarding ratification of additional expenses related to the new office. I sent out the 2 invoices in question. I don't have them in front of me, but I know Irene does. When we finally got the security in, we looked and it was, we need new locks. Because while we had security, a lot of other people still had keys. So we got a price from Mark. And it was under $1,000. It was very reasonable, so we went ahead and did that. So the very day, these are the same. The very day that our security system was installed, we also had new locks and keyless entry on the doors. So it worked out great.
What is going on with the old building?
I've asked them to take down the sign. We have nothing to do with that.
Oh, so there's nothing having to be paid for that?
Absolutely
No.
not.
Okay, it's all
No.
done.
We are at one.
You
No,
guys,
that was
you
a
guys got
lease.
us moved out completely
Yeah.
By
in
the
December, right?
end
So
of
we're
Oh, yeah, I
starting-
knew that it had been moved, I just didn't know.
So no more
What's
lease
going on
over
with that?
there
Nope.
from
Okay,
January.
we have too much crosstalk here.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Did you have a question?
Yeah, the new billing process will show the corrected address and
We
everything
need
like
to
that.
go back to that because we kind of discussed it. Now we're on the ratification of additional expenses. So you need to wait for the public comment. We have to stay on topic.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. We were out of the former office December 31st, so the last rent we paid there was for December, and now we're just paying for the new one. And there were a lot of reasons for the delay in moving. We don't want to talk about what it took to get. It was just complicated. So we had the locks.
The locks and the, remember we had to have
We had a
the
switch.
20 amp circuit because in that wall there wasn't any power.
Correct. So
So-
those were 2 things that kind of came up, and it was, well, we can postpone all of this for another 30 days till we have a meeting, or we can bite the bullet and get it done. So we got it done because security is important, and we couldn't finish hooking up all of the equipment without the proper electrical connection. So can we ratify them both at the same time, or do we have to do them separately, Devin?
You can do it at the same time.
So the
Just
2,
make sure you include the specificity on the amounts and the vendor, etc.
do you have both? No?
Sorry, yeah.
Sorry.
So they look like they're the same, but they're not.
They're not? Okay, sorry. Okay. So we had, and by the way, I did look at the prices of locks, etc., and this price was definitely within a reasonable amount. So it was the electronic keypad, keypad deadbolts, and those are on the 2 doors that people come in and out of, and the amount for all of that was $979,
What was that?
And then, wow, that is weird. It's a
Almost the
difference of
same, yeah.
66 cents. So, and there was one 20 amp office designated circuit, and the material that went with that, and that was so we could connect our equipment, and it was $979.66. So there were two invoices, one for $979, one for $979.66.
If I could just clarify the reason why we had to do that electrical, it came as a surprise, but you remember that partial wall, you know, we had conversation around extending the wall.
Right.
And there were actually outlet covers and that kind of thing on the wall, so the appearance was that you would have power to that wall, but there was no power to that wall. So,
Dead out?
yeah,
Just,
yeah.
oh, interesting.
So that was one thing where we were like,
Surprise.
yeah, we're in the
Yeah.
middle of trying to get over here.
Right.
What do we do? So,
So I'd like to entertain a motion to approve
Could-
both invoices for the deadbolts and the electrical. Oh, sorry.
Could I just ask, which account does it come from? As far as like, you know,
That would be a
of our
Natalie
expense.
question.
As far as, I mean, like miscellaneous office maintenance? Any ideas?
Is it on the account? Did
I'm just
she
curious.
bill it?
I don't know the answer to that. We talked about it one time, Tom, and I don't know the answer.
Right. I mean, there's not too many options, I guess, you know.
This isn't
you probably can
administrative.
figure it out.
It's not like, it's not capital improvements. It's
Right.
not that, but,
Something with office, but anyhow,
sorry,
you know.
I don't remember.
Well, I don't think it's critical, but, I mean, it generally seemed like we got a pretty good deal on the install, and the quotes that I saw didn't say actually that the keypad was actually, so I was kind of curious, but you explained that it was included, the keypad.
Correct. Electronic
Because keyless
keypad on the
entry
front
or,
entrance.
Right.
Two electronic keypad deadbolts, and
so two doors, basically? Or
yes.
two doors, one was a security door, or?
No, we had the keypad on for customers to come in, a door in the front, and then we had two keypads so that operations can come in the back.
I see.
Because it's just much easier for them to be able to come through the back and pull their truck up and load and unload
Right.
equipment and stuff.
And so this is 3 keypads.
Correct.
I see.
And 1, 2, 3 deadbolts. And
Did it do all 4 doors?
they did all 4 doors. Like the door,
Change the lock, right?
the locks on the doors, yes. They didn't rekey any of the locks, they changed all of the locks. So it's changing all of the locks, the keypads, and the deadbolts.
So there's still regular locks on the doors in addition to,
But we do not use the keys. We have
then
keys.
why did you spend $75 on keys?
That was for the old keys. We had all of the new operations team needed keys for the old office and the new office. So there were a lot of keys made to get people going.
Just to keep things going until
We
we
didn't have
got
a quote for the
the
electrical
keyless.
stuff yet. The electrical stuff wasn't installed.
Right.
Right.
They didn't have a
So
quote
it was
for
just-
it, so they had to get keys made for the other
And the
ones. for
entrance.
the operation.
Right.
And keys are about $6 or $7 a piece. So
Nowadays, yeah.
it's
I guess nowadays, yeah.
Ace Hardware. I have all the receipts. So if you look at it and you wonder why, the receipts were all submitted. There's really nothing fishy.
I'm
Right.
just looking out for the owner users.
And we look.
I think we all do that, but thank you. So I'd like to, yes, I'd like to,
Right.
So I'd like to make a motion that we ratify both of these payments that we made to Bradshaw Residential Services. The one payment was in the amount of $979 for the 3 electronic keypad lock and deadbolt locks, and $979.66 for the electrical service to that one wall
Right.
in the office.
I second it. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Discussion and possible action regarding hiring a temporary administrative support for meter reading and data entry. We have learned our lesson twice now that we need backup for the office. And I think Julie was going to, at some point, we need to talk to her,
Reduce her hours.
reduce her hours for her own reasons. So I think we should run an ad, I'm not sure where, post it wherever we can around town. It would be nice to hire someone local. Identifying the training and experience and qualifications for someone to come into the office and enter meter reading and meter reads, and maybe just learn how the entire office works. Because I don't think Irene and I can do this again. It's a lot of work. I think we should do the same base pay rate that we have right now, which is,
Well, we kind of talked about, we need to talk to Julie because that's her position right now. But she's already put out there that for this next year, she's got time plan that she does not want to be working in the office, as well as for personal reasons needs to have a reduction in the number of hours that she works in a week. So right now we're paying her for the 6 hours, 5 days a week, and so we may have some room to work with, what we already have budgeted there for that, aspect of it, but we need somebody who can step in when she's sick, when something, she or the other person, falls. It's, it gets very crazy when all the meter reads come in, 850 reads come in and they need to get put in the system the day they come in to keep them accurate. And then it gets pretty crazy when we print the bills and send the bills out, followed by all the payments coming in. So to have two part-time people that can learn each other's job would probably be very helpful for us.
we were discussing rate of pay. Should we consider the rate of pay the same that Julie started at?
What do you guys think?
It's the same thing.
Reasonable.
Base, why not?
So that
They've
was
got the experience. If they don't have experience,
correct with the experience. You're right.
Well, we're not gonna hire someone with no experience, you know?
No.
Well, this is a lot of work, and it's difficult work.
Yeah.
So, I don't know that you would find someone with that experience in this town.
I said it would be nice to find someone local. I didn't say that that's the only option. We would have to look outside of this area as well.
I'd rather have experience than someone local. I mean, just because they're local, they're not doing us any justice or
Right.
doing the job. I'd rather have, I don't care where they're coming from, and get the job done. So
Some businesses hire a temp person, and they hire temp so that a temp person can come in and they see how that temp person works, their values, if they really do have the experience they say, and then they hire the temp as full-time.
Well, I would suggest making it a temporary position if we hire someone new.
And nobody is opposed to that. I think Julie's position did not come as permanent. It came as temporary, and I believe it's still there. So I'd like to entertain a motion that we pursue looking for a backup, and that the rate of pay be $21 an hour, which is the rate that Julie's making. And we just need to do, we need to look at placing an ad in a few different locations, and then perhaps talking with a temporary agency to see what the options would be for a temporary person, for them to find someone that meets. It kind of saves us from having to do a lot of the legwork in finding someone. So, anyone like to make a motion that we start the search for a temporary or for a backup at $21 an hour?
I so move.
Second?
Second.
And Sean seconds. All in favor say aye.
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 I
Passes unanimously, and we can continue the discussions on qualifications and how to look and where to look. And so G and H were actually duplicates, thank goodness, so we can go to I. Discussion and possible action regarding establishing a monthly expenditure limit that may be authorized without prior board approval. And we just talked about how important this is because we had to make the decision to spend under $1,000 twice just so that we could move in and not to have to wait 30 days for a board meeting. So let's discuss what a reasonable amount would be.
So what are we paying for?
This would just be for something that comes up that we feel is in the best interest of the district and the office or operations to not to have to wait 30 days, for example.
Did Natalie have any suggestions?
Pardon?
Did she have any suggestions on maybe how much?
Who?
The CPA.
No, that's up to us.
Oh, I don't know, like $1,000 or something.
I'll say 1,200, Irene.
Yeah, either one. 1,000 or 12, you know, I'll give it to
1,000, Tom?
1,000.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion that the board will have the authority to spend up to $1,000 a month without
Making a meeting.
Is it $1,000 a month, or are we talking about a $1,000 expenditure? So like, for example, what we just got from...
expenditure limit.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay?
Yeah.
So establishing a monthly expenditure limit of $1,000 that may be authorized without prior board approval. So I would like to entertain a motion that we approve the $1,000.
I'll second the motion.
Oh, wait, Sean?
No, that's
I'm
fine.
sorry.
Both.
I didn't hear
Sean
you.
made the motion
Go
to
ahead,
approve
you got it.
$1,000. Tom seconded the motion. Do we
Okay.
have any discussion? No? All in favor of approving a monthly expenditure limit of $1,000 without prior board approval, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimously. Okay, boy, we're getting through this. Now, logo contest. The Water District, do not laugh, the Water District has never had a logo that represented the district, the community. It's just been black and white paper. And a logo is a symbol or something that, thanks for coming,
Thank you.
that recognizes or that represents the district. And there would be like $150 first place for the logo and $75 second. That would not come from the district money. That would come from donors. So obviously we're not going to spend owner users' money to reward them for helping us with a logo. I thought it would be a lot of fun. We could present it to like the junior high. We could put it out in the community. They're having the immersion exhibit. It was here before. It's here this week. So people are kind of in the water mind now, which is good. Of course, we would have to make sure that whoever was awarded the prize, if we decided to use that logo on the sign and on our letterhead, they would have to sign a release giving us permission to do so. Lori Martinez with the plaza, that's how they came up with the name for the plaza, was she did a logo contest and it was great. And we could put the submissions out on display in the plaza or in the office for people to come and look at and give us their feedback on what they thought. But I would really like to see something in a picture or in some form of art speak for what the district stands for, looks like. Irene?
Well, we also talked about, one thing that we want to do, the new board, is to really be part of the community, not just the water board or the water district, but be, active in the community or involve the community so that it's not just, the water department. So, this was something that, Elaine had seen this happen with, Lori, and, thought it might be a way to involve, like she said, the kids over at the school, community members, anybody that might want to put their creative minds to work. I don't know, what do you guys think?
Get the community involved. I'm just curious, I saw a logo somewhere in the midst of all these emails and everything.
I think Jerry
There was-
did kind of just a generic,
Yeah, he
I
puts
thought
pictures
it
on
was,
his.
I thought it was a nice logo. And I was like, oh, I guess you took care of that.
No.
I thought it was something you know.
It might have been RCAC's logo you saw.
No, it was it was a logo for the district, and it was
Is this
actually
it?
pretty nice
In the
looking.
middle?
Yeah, and it was colored, and it was nice looking, and I mean,
I like it.
yeah,
can I see it?
I like it too. I mean, and it was colored.
It's kinda
It
dope,
looks
actually,
nice
yeah.
colored.
No, this is what Jerry picked out, and it's just kind of a canned, I think. Is it not, Jerry, what you put on the
I get your thumbs
action
up from
report?
It looks good though. I mean,
Tom, that's not the point.
I
The
know.
point is involving the community and
Right.
getting this, coming up with something
Right.
that reflects the community. That just looks like a standard canned kind of logo. There's nothing that
The color
speaks to me and says, wow, that's
yeah,
really
color
cool.
version, you have to have it.
Oh,
printed.
yeah. Oh, that's my favorite color.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Well, maybe we
Again,
could get something
another
else for
canned logo
It's the same
without.
It's the same color as my house.
Okay, we can discuss this, but if you guys want to submit,
That's a good looking. I'm sorry, it's a good looking logo. Jerry, you did that?
so
Oh, Jerry's not with us anymore. Oh, okay.
let's get back to the topic. It's not going to cost the board
in the
any.
midst of all we're trying.
It's not going to cost the board any money.
Everything we're trying to do.
Tom, please. It would be a great way to involve the community. It would be something special, something unique, something you're not going to find if you Google logos for the Southwest Desert. And that's what I would like to see for the community. Something that speaks for us. So I would like to entertain a motion. Again, it would be $150 first place prize, $75 second, and the funds would be donated. So I'd like to entertain a motion that we start the process of having a logo contest.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
I'll second.
any discussion?
Would it be open to all ages and all?
Yeah.
All, residents?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're not going to leave anyone out from the junior high, maybe even
I'm
the
not saying Jerry
kindergarten.
can't submit that because
He would
I
not.
don't know, I mean, so,
That lets him out.
so do you have a plan for somebody
Okay,
to-
let's get back
to
on
run it,
topic.
or-
So
Who's gonna-
we've had a motion to initiate a logo contest. We've had a second. Are we done with the discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion passes unanimously. And since it's 6:30 on K, we're gonna go, discussion and possible action regarding newly defined roles and responsibilities. I think it would be good, if you took the descriptions that that Irene provided.
Right.
We should probably get together and have another meeting. I think Irene has something that Tom can start on now that would be appropriate for the secretary, and something that Melina could work on as well as treasurer. And Sean, we're still, working on fitting something in with your school
You
schedule.
can run the logo contest.
Yeah, the local
That's easy.
So
do you think this might be a meeting in itself? I mean, for how we
it could very well be.
You know what
I
I mean?
agree with
This
that,
is-
but let's stay with the topic right now, and that would be
yeah, because it's
Irene has some
Right.
tasks that could really use that need to get started on that would be appropriate for the secretary. So I would like the assignment to be for Tom and Irene to talk, and for Tom to get started on. We have everything you need. We have the binders to start putting the agendas and the meeting minutes and such together, because those records have to be kept forever. And it might seem like a lot because we have to do for the past year, but if you think about it, all it's going to take is once a month. You hole punch some paperwork, you put it into the binder, and you're good to go. It's doing the catch up.
teach me clerical,
Tom, I have
do
2
what I
master's
can.
degrees, and I'm in the office cleaning the commode
I
and
know.
doing menial tasks as well.
I-
And I
Yeah.
think that Irene has some tasks that Melina could work on regarding invoices and such that are taking a lot of time that would be appropriate. So those 2, and Sean, did you have a comment?
Oh, no. I don't remember what was said.
Okay, so we'll talk about you perhaps spearheading or working on the logo contest or
Right.
something that I know you're going to school and I know how difficult that is. Okay, so you guys have anything you want to ask? Any questions? This is public comment or?
I think it would be probably best practice to have the individuals in those positions right now write the job descriptions and responsibilities, the roles and responsibilities. It seems to make the most sense.
And they do have a copy of potential tasks that the secretary could do, and Tom has that list, and Melina has the list for treasurer.
Yeah.
And I agree, I think it would be important for them to go through and think what they, or identify things that they think that they could do, and then we need to sit down and have a discussion.
And work with each other as well, because there will be some overlap, some degree
Yeah,
of
so
overlap there.
there's a lot that would actually be. I've gone through a lot of this, and a lot of this would be like, it would be all the board members. So just like we have previous, what is our policy current, which is basically it's real limited, and it doesn't really cover everything that we need to be trying to
It
do.
could be a wider scope or a higher
A
level
wider
view.
scope. So just for an example, here would be
And Tom, just before you go into
Secretary.
that, speaking, just want to remind everyone, this
Is that
for
all right?
answering questions,
Yes.
no discussion.
I'm sorry,
I'm
what?
sorry, Devin?
What was that?
Devin?
Yeah, this is Devin speaking. Just want to remind everybody this is for discussion, or not for discussion, excuse me. This is for, you can answer questions, but no real discussion here.
Okay, so
Just
we need to refine these, but it is very important. It is essential that every board
Volunteers.
member's position has a role with specific responsibilities for them to do. Because Irene and I know how it would be much easier for everyone if people had specific roles and responsibilities and they each were committed to fulfilling those. It would help everyone.
I remember now. That last email that you sent out with all the I thought that was great, really detailed. So, so you're saying we're going to get into another meeting and discuss those points?
We will set a meeting, I'm not sure when. We have some meter reading and
this is current.
billing issues to go through, but I want everybody to look at the list, give it some good thought, and then identify what task works, what you think might not work, so we can get together and have a discussion and have an organized discussion. Okay? Yes.
So could we give this a meeting in itself?
Yes, we can.
It really is a lot.
It is. Melina.
Thanks.
My husband walks High Desert Park Trail every day. There's no sign for our tree anywhere.
Then call Bubba.
Just get Bubba on it.
Bubba is the one, yeah, I can send you his phone number, because Bubba said that, a sign was posted, but that's not on the agenda, so he can't.
Right, but I just
Oh,
wanted you to know
A
that,
tree we
that
adopted
there's,
at High
whether
Desert
it blew
Park.
down, I don't know.
I think it was
Bubba.
$50. Just a
Okay,
community.
I'm gonna take one more minute. Do you have anything?
I just didn't hear what you said. No sign for something.
Oh, for our tree we adopted, for the adopted tree thing.
Well, that's not on the agenda. I will, make sure
It was just a
people
simple
get Bubba's
question.
number and they can ask Bubba about it.
Okay.
Okay, so it is 6:36 and, the meeting is now adjourned. Thanks everyone for coming. Devin, get some rest. Bye.
Oh, thank you.
I'm gonna shut down the recordings.
got to know you. Who are you?
Recording stopping.
Bye.
It's an office, all right?
It's been a